Welcome to the channel, Papa J Trucking, where I'm going to be talking about hotshot trucking and life. At the beginning of each one of my videos, I'm going to do something that's called the tip of the day. This is going to be the first one, the first tip of the day. Now, you're probably wondering, why is this dude standing in a field of sunflowers? Well, I looked at him and it looked like it'd be a nice place to do the video because of the background, the coloring and all that. So this is where I decided I want to do the video. Now the funny thing is that I drove over here to do the video in the field of sunflowers. I told a couple people what I was going to do and they thought it would be funny to sneak through the woods, follow me over here and do something comical. And what they did was, oh, let me get through here. This field is inside of electric wire, it's an electric fence to keep the deer out, some of the bigger critters, to keep them out. And what these funny individuals did is I cut off the wire before I came in here. I cut the electricity off. They snuck behind me, came through the tree line and plugged it back in. So I was getting ready to adjust my camera. My camera is over there on one of those rotating selfie sticks. I was getting ready to reach over and try to adjust the camera, and I got shot. They got me. So they're in here. They're back there probably watching me from the tree line back over there somewhere. I'll worry about getting out later. Anyway, I can't even call anybody to come over here and get them because I'd have to reach over and grab my phone. That's how I got shot when I tried to grab my phone. So anyway, first tip of the day. This tip of the day is going to be about something that has been near and dear to my heart since I've been a child. I don't understand why people do it, but they do it. You know, to each his own. You do what you want to do. But I've never understood this one. Something I've never done. I don't even understand why people do it. Okay, I can hear them walking around in the woods over there. I hear them over there walking around. All right, so lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? Okay, so near and dear to my heart, something I've never done. I don't understand why people do it, but people do it. And that is, why do people put sugar in their grits? Sugar doesn't go in grits, people. It does not go in grits. Grits is meant to be savory, not sweet. You have savory, you got sweet. I don't understand it. Sugar does not go in your grits. Every time I'm walking in a restaurant or somewhere and watching somebody eat grits and they put sugar on the grits, I just want to walk over there and knock the spoon out of their mouth for putting the sugar on their grits. It's crazy. People that eat grits, you have reserved premium seating waiting for you in the bowels of hell. When the Almighty comes back here to collect his people, it's going to be two lines. The line that has Jeffrey Dahmer and Adolf Hitler standing in it, that's the line that you're supposed to be in. If I see you over in the line that I'm in, I'm snitching. You ain't supposed to be in that line, right? You got reserved seating somewhere else. The only thing that goes in grits is salt, pepper, butter. That's it. When you're trying to be fancy, sometimes I cook my grits instead of using water, I use chicken stock. That's fancy. When I'm trying to be extra fancy, sometimes I cook my grits with heavy whipping cream to give it that really creamy texture. And normally you would do that when you're doing like shrimp and grits. Shrimp can go in grits, right? Okay. Other proteins that can go in grits. Ham. People put ham in their grits. You know, sometimes I fry up bacon really crispy and I do bacon in my grits. That works. That go in there, right? Yeah, so bacon can go in your grits. But that's it. Now, there's also this group of people out there, these want to be high society and highfalutin, thinking they're up here, right? That say, well, no, I've never eaten a grit. I don't eat grit. I eat polenta. Guess what? Polenta and grits are the same thing. Grits is made from dent corn, and that's usually white and is milled once. Polenta is made from flint corn. It's usually yellow. Different consistency. The polenta has more of a firmer texture, and it holds together better. It's more toothsome is a word that I've heard chefs use, right? Has a little more of a bite to it because it came from northern Italy. The Italians use it, and they use it for anything that you can use pasta or rice for. Anything that you can use pasta for or use rice for, you can do that with polenta, right? And grits are normally have like a looser texture, a little more creamier than the polenta. Total difference. White corn, yellow corn. Dent corn, flint corn, right? Sugar don't go in grits. Bottom line, sugar does not go in grits. Do not put sugar in your grits. You're going to hell. I'm done with this subject today. That's been my tip of the day. Now I gotta figure out how to get out of here. They must have forgot that I got a 6-inch vertical. I can just leap over this and get out of here. I can get out. I just gotta jump over. This joint go all the way around. But anyway, hey, that's been my tip of the day. Welcome to the channel again. Let's get loaded.
I've been gone for too long, in a faraway land, trying to find my way in, searching for where I did belong, coming up with a plan, somewhere I can begin. Memories of my hometown keep crawling back in my head. Been around the world all this time, still couldn't match how we felt. I can't wait to get home. 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 Nothing else can compare. On my way, I'll be there. Sunshine like a heavenly oasis. I can feel the love from the familiar faces. The sound of my homeland. She calling, I'm all in. Been traveling the globe for a while and I had a good time, but memories of my hometown keep crawling back in my head. Been around the world all this time, still couldn't match.
Absolutely horrible, dreadful, but I'm gonna hold this pose as if I just hit it 300 yards. Anyway, my name is Jay, AKA Papa J, and once again, welcome to the channel. This is actually gonna be the first official video, not the ones before. The ones before I was just kind of testing, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I wanted to try to figure out whether I want to do intro music, how I wanted to come into the front of the video, what kind of music I wanted to do, what to name the channel, what to talk about on the channel. So it was trying to make a decision between just talking about trucking, talking about hotshot trucking, like trucking in general, hotshot trucking, or talking about life in general. So as you can see from the name of the channel, I already made a decision on that. It's a combination of both. So it'll be hotshot trucking and life. And life is more than likely probably going to be my family. I have a very large family and they are very entertaining. So probably going to be mostly about them, or I'll be talking about general stuff. I'm going to include some of them, like the grandkids. I got a bunch of grandkids, my children, my godchildren. Probably involve everybody at some point. Gonna have them doing like coming on lives with me, doing Q&As on lives and stuff like that. Some of it will be lighthearted, some of it will be serious. Just like the channel itself, some of it will be lighthearted, some of it will be serious. As you can see from I'm gonna be doing like every beginning of the video, I plan on doing like a tip of the day. So the first one, the one about the grits that was on this one, that's like, that's a kind of lighthearted thing, I guess. But serious for me because I don't put sugar in my grits. That's crazy. But a lot of people didn't know that I was even doing this. I have a successful business. I think I mentioned that in the first video I did, that virgin load from hell, the very first week that I went out. I went out to the Midwest. I don't know why I did that. Never happened again. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be doing that again. But anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. But anyway, so yeah, the tip of the day, I'll do that at the beginning of each video. Some of it will be lighthearted, some of it will be serious. That one was serious for me because I don't put sugar in my grits. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't do that. I guess the main point of this video is to explain, the main point of this one, this first official video, is because a lot of people didn't know that I was doing trucking until they saw me doing all the TikToks. I was doing TikToks and they were like, what is he doing? Because he has a private investigation business that I've had since 1997. So I had people calling me, people that know me, calling me, asking me, hey man, what'd you do? Did you sell the company? Are you out of it? What are you doing? Are you retiring? No. The private investigation business is pretty much autonomous. It took a while to get to that point, but it is. Mostly, my time was spent on the, I'm gonna say, executive protection and fusion recovery side. So we do workers' comp insurance fraud. We do all kinds of investigation, cold cases, missing persons, any kind of investigation that you can think of. We do corporate espionage, executive protection, did I say that? And we do fugitive recovery. So the majority of my time was spent doing the fugitive recovery and executive protection. Oh, and we do security as well. We do security. So the majority of the time was spent doing the fugitive recovery. That took up a lot of time. And now, since it's kind of almost gone away in Maryland, that time is kind of freed up. So I figured, hey, the PI side is pretty much autonomous. I can fill that with something else that I always want to do, which is trucking. I've always wanted to do trucking, which I'll come back to that in a minute. But yeah, so I have, on the PI side, I have 4 full-time guys that do fugitive recovery, and they are still doing it full-time, and mostly down in North Carolina. So I'd say probably 70% of the stuff we do is in North Carolina. The rest is wherever, Maryland and wherever. But pretty much based out of North Carolina. I mean, they're in Maryland, live in Maryland, but whenever they have cases, they go down there and work for like a week, 2 weeks, and then come back up. So the bondsmen will have a bunch of stuff just saved up. They go down there and work all the cases, then come back up. On the investigative side, as far as the PIs, I had 15. I just lost 2 to retirement that have been with me for over 20 years. So now I have 13, and they mainly do right now, the biggest thing is workers' comp insurance fraud is what they do. And then every now and again they do all the other ones in between. On the fusion recovery side, I have about 30 some odd subcontractors, which they really haven't been doing anything in the last couple of years. They haven't been doing anything because, like I said, it's been going away. Every now and again, there's the same group of people will come out and work recovery cases. but on the books I have 30, I think, oh my God, 27 or 32, I can't remember. I gotta look back on the board. And yeah, that's it, 13, 32, and 4. And then I have 1 full-time admin and 1 part-time admin. So trucking, I've always, even when I was in, I guess my background. My background is military, law enforcement, government. So those that are also asking about whether I'm still on the government side, yes I am. So you know me, you already know what I do. If you don't know me, you're not supposed to know. So, but I'm still doing that too. But I'm getting ready. That's why I have more time, is I'm getting ready to slide out of that. So I'll be done with that here coming up shortly. Law enforcement, I was a Baltimore City police officer for a while. I left there after, actually, while I was a police officer, I had this, the PI company, which we weren't supposed to have during that time. We weren't supposed to have, you had to get approved to get it. But I can snitch on myself now. I had it the whole time, buddy. So yeah, I was doing the PI thing on the side. I had it the whole time. And then I left there. Oh my God, where is I going with that? Okay, yeah, so that's it. So I've always liked big trucks and machinery. For some reason, I always loved the smell of burning diesel exhaust. I just loved it. When I was a kid, I always wanted to go down to the Greyhound station and just sit there and wait for the buses to come into the terminal because I love the smell of diesel exhaust. I don't know what it is. It doesn't smell that way anymore because now we have DEF and everything. Diesel exhaust fluid is put in the diesel engines made after, was it 2010? Any engines made after that time, you have to have DEF. So you don't get that smell no more. So it was weird. I used to beg my uncle, like before I was old enough to drive or go down there myself, my Uncle Will back home used to beg him to take me down to the Greyhound bus terminal so I can smell diesel exhaust as the buses were coming in. And you know, I couldn't ask my mother because my mother was that type, you can't ask her to, if it's something crazy, man, she ain't going for it. And then she's gonna ask you a bunch of questions anyway. Like, why you wanna go down to the city dump and watch the dump trucks come in or the garbage trucks come in? Like, I ain't got time to answer you, Mom. Anyway, so yeah, my uncle, who just needed he needed an excuse to get out of the house anyway. So I would ask him and he would take me. And he would always take me down there. But yeah, I've always had a love for trucks, big machinery, and even in the military. My first MOS was a 13 Bravo. Those of you that know, you know, I was a red leg, 13 Bravo, cannon crewman. I was on 155 self-propelled howitzer. So I love that, man. I used to get out of my bed sometime and go down to the motor pool and just start up and just sleep in that joint, or sleep outside, like, and especially in the summertime. I'd start it up and sleep outside just to be smelling the exhaust, man. It's crazy. I think there might be something wrong with me. Probably is. Was I getting high off of that? I'm thinking about that. Was I getting, like, inebriated? No, couldn't have been. Anyway. All right, well, got some other stuff to talk about, but we're gonna change scenery and get out of here. Stop pretending like I'm playing golf. Go find that ball that didn't go anywhere. I'm looking right at the ball. I'll go get it. Yeah, but we'll get into it and let's unpack some stuff. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I just wanted you jokers to be able to see that sunset back there. So, like I said in the, well, let me give you a detailed kind of description or detailed information on how I really got into hotshot trucking. So probably about 9 years ago, I had a friend who was in hotshot trucking, had 2 trucks, and he fell on some, pretty bad times, and he needed to get out to go do something else. So as a part of a rescue plan, I bought the 2 trucks away from him so that he could get those off of his credit. And when I bought them, I actually got busier with my other business, so I didn't really think this through. So I went ahead and I resold them. So I sold the trucks after I got them. Actually, it was 2 trucks and 1 trailer, so I sold them. And they were down in South Carolina. All right, so let's put that aside. Now, COVID time, or around about right before COVID time, I had someone close to me in my circle that was talking about leaving their job. The first conversation came up sometime in around 2019 because the job that they're at was possibly going to be shutting down, or not shutting down. They were like downsizing, right? So this individual, and I'm going to keep using the pronouns that I'm using so that I'm not giving away, or I'm not going to say no names or give it away or anything like that, but they decided that they wanted to look into trucking, right? So I was all for it. It was going to kind of be like a joint venture thing, right? So that was the first conversation. Then more conversation came, then finally they went and got their CDL license. And the plan was we were going to do something together. I was going to be more of like a silent partner, and kind of help out with get them started, because they were going to be leaving a job that they've been at for some years and needed a source of income. All right, so the individual kind of changed plans on me without telling me, but me being the kind of person that I am, I was already all in with the plan that what I wanted to do, right? So kind of left me hanging. So let's leave that right there. Now, with the other business that I told you guys about in the other segment, the future recovery side, I teach that as well. So I would, every month or every couple of months, I would teach future recovery classes, and from those classes that I taught, the better people that kind of stuck around and they wanted to actually learn, and they looked like they were going to be okay, they weren't idiots, I brought them onto the team. So that's how the team got to be so large. What I'm saying, I got they had the 30 some odd people. It always fluctuated between about 25, and at one point I remember I had like 40 people that were all subcontractors. And I call these subcontractors because they all have full-time jobs, and they were doing the fusion recovery thing. They were doing that kind of part-time. So that's why I differentiate, how you say that word? I made a difference in the other segment between my full-time guys and the subcontractors for that, right? It has nothing to do with the PIs. All right, so because I had a bunch of new people, a lot of these people, they were okay or semi-okay tactically, right? But they did not have what we call in the military or law enforcement, they didn't have a radio ear, and they didn't know how to communicate effectively on the radio. All right, so I was on the internet sometime. Now COVID is around now. It's like the winter of January, February of 2020. Now I am not a video gamer, or never been a video gamer, but in March of 2020, there's this game that came out called Warzone, right? And I was looking at it. It's like a battle royale game where you play with a squad and you complete objectives, right? So a light bulb went on. I said, you know what? This would be a good way to teach my guys how to
learn how to communicate effectively on the radio, because you got to have good comms. You got to be able to accurately give out detailed information as quickly as possible, and then be able to act on that information in order to complete an objective, or to be able to defeat another team that you might be going up against, right? Or challenging, right? So I encouraged all these guys to play Call of Duty, play Warzone particularly, right? And there was a nice little handful. I think that we started out with like 6 or 7 that wanted to play it, and actually ended up with, still today, there's let's see, me and FRA guys, just me and Aaron. So the rest of them kind of fell off, but we still play it. All right. But one of the guys that was playing back then was Isaac. His name was Isaac Petershine, and cool dude, man. He was actually, he grew up Amish in Pennsylvania, and he left the Amish community. I forget what they call it, springing something, whatever. Whenever he did that, he never went back, and went out amongst, they call us the English. So went out amongst the English and never went back. Okay, so he was one of my better guys. He would come all the way down from Pennsylvania, to Maryland on the FRA nights, because we usually did it with the subcontractors, always did it at night, right? I taught these guys how to operate at night. So that's mostly when we did most of our operations, at night. So we owned the night, you know, and most of them did he did very well at it, and he loved it. But you know, I can tell you he loved it, because he would come all the way from Pennsylvania to Maryland on a night that, even when he had to get up the next morning and go to work, he would come down. We usually would meet up about 8 o'clock at night, and it could be any day of the week, Monday through Friday, like during the week. And this guy would come out, run ops with us, catch a couple fugitives, and then by the time, you know, we get finished 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, he's driving back to Pennsylvania and then getting up and going to work the next day at his full-time job. So that was my man. And he called me, at a couple of them, you know, my guys that were the closest to me called me Pop Pop, and he was one of the ones that called me Pop Pop, and I called him like, you know, one of my little sons now. Cool dude. But anyway, so that was Isaac. Isaac worked FRA, Isaac played Warzone. And one night while we were playing Warzone, actually, he and I used to also play in tournaments together. He and I were the first 2 that started playing in the tournaments together. And I think we won 2 that we played. The other ones, we won 2 back during that time. But one night we were waiting for everybody to come on. So me and Isaac were in the what they call the lobbies. We're just sitting there waiting for other guys to log on to play. We're sitting there in the lobby and waiting for 2 other guys to show up. And Isaac was talking about, he was thinking about getting into trucking. And I was like, you know what, man? I've been having conversations about trucking myself, and I'm thinking about doing hotshot trucking though. I don't want to do big truck right now. I think I want to do hotshot trucking. So he was like, he said, if you do, I want to get on with you, because I'm already working for you, da 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 da. I know how you operate. I know what kind of person you are. I want to work with you. I was like, cool. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's, you know. So whenever I get ready, I'll let you know. Now, in between me getting ready, Isaac being the go-getter that he was, somebody talked him into going out. And he didn't tell me, he was trying to make it be a surprise. He goes out and he buys a big truck. He bought a Peterbilt, I think it was a 389, I think. 2011, like 389. Peterbilt, nice truck, black truck. And he just, one night at FRA, he just, at the link up spot, instead of him driving his car, he shows up in the Peterbilt. We used to link up at the, if we were working like the Baltimore area, we link up at this gas station / convenience store called Royal Farms. They're very popular up here in this area. He shows up at the Royal Farms in the Peterbilt truck. I'm like, what's going on with you, man? So he's like, yeah, Pop, I I got my truck, man. I'm ready to do business. I said, well, we can still do it. I said, even though I'm thinking about doing the Hotshot thing and I wasn't ready yet, I said, listen, I can still, if I start rolling, I can still dispatch for you, get one of the admin girls to dispatch for you. So that was the plan. But in the meantime, before I was ready, he said, you know what, I'm gonna start doing Amazon Relay. So he started doing Amazon Relay, and he also started doing, he was pulling some kind of tankers for some kind of waste company that he was going from, I forget where he's going, somewhere down Elkton or down that area in Maryland or somewhere down there, and going back and forth to Pennsylvania. But he's also doing the Amazon Relay. So I said I'd leave that right there so I can bring this all together. So when he was doing the Amazon Relay, he'd do it probably a couple of times a week or whatever. And he still had his full-time job as well. So he's doing a full-time job, running those runs with his truck, and then doing the FRA. He was still doing all that. And, the Amish like to work hard. That dude was one of those guys that he kept that in his spirit. He's always a hard worker. So let's fast forward. The week of, well, let me back up. I told him that I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to do the trucking thing. I said, but right now we're too busy with the stuff we got going on right now. And also this is around about the time because of COVID. Maryland was already trying to get rid of the cash bail system. Okay. So the bail recovery was pretty much, it was just going away. Right. So I had to make sure that we were pivoting to do something else. That there was a lot of income with that. But not on the subcontractor side, because those guys didn't always come out. But my full-time guys and myself, that's where there was a lot of money right there. All right. So we were, trying to pivot to make sure we were squared away and not be left out there. So I wasn't trying to get wrapped up in a whole nother business. So I just told him to hold tight. I'm still coming, man. Just hold tight. I promise you I'm coming. I promise you that I'm coming. And we're gonna get this thing rocking. So in between that, well, let's fast forward. January, the week of January 19th, whatever that Monday was, of 2023, right? We're out of COVID by now. He got a helicopter going over. It looks like I thought it was a medevac. No, it's not a medevac. So January 2023, January 19th, that week, whatever that Monday was, he went on a trip going down to like Tennessee and then like Georgia. I know he's doing the Amazon Relay thing, and then on that trip, he was gonna visit some female that he had met or some female that he knew. And so we talked on Tuesday when he said he was gonna be on his way coming back, because he and I were gonna play do a tournament together, right? On I think Wednesday, and then on Thursday everybody else was gonna be logging on. We were all supposed to be playing on Thursday because we have a chat board where we put all the, when we're gonna play, we put the information and say, hey, we're playing on this night, who's gonna play. So he and I were gonna run a tournament, and then and these are like daily tournaments. These are tournaments they call them like wager games or whatever. We were gonna run one of those for that night, and then the next night we were gonna do, run with the guys, with the squad. So that was the last conversation that I had with him. What happened was he was on his way back, coming through Virginia on 81, I think it was 81, in Wythe County, Virginia. And it's about 12:59 on January 19th, 2023. I was just gonna say that he probably fell asleep at the wheel because he went off the road and struck another tractor trailer that was parked on the side of the road, which is one of the big issues. A big issue in trucking right now is not the lack of parking. Guys having to park on the interstate, but the truck was parked on the interstate. He hit it, and once he struck that, he continued and flipped his truck over the guardrail and he died. And the report says that he did not have his seatbelt on. So he died that night, which is the night early morning of January 19th, 2023. So why I, decided to go ahead and get into Hotshot trucking is I was going to keep the promise that I made that I was going to do it. So that's more information as to how I got into Hotshot trucking, because I had to keep that promise. I was already in line to do it with the other individual that was supposed to be, getting into trucking. So, and I'd been in conversations back and forth about trucking with other people. Just wasn't really serious about doing it because I had, I had too much going on already with the business and the other stuff and the government stuff and all that. So I didn't really have the time, so something had to give. And with the fugitive recovery kind of slowing down in the state of Maryland, that kind of gave space for me to get into Hotshot trucking. And that's where I'm at. But shout out to Isaac Peterson, he's one of the good guys, one of my good guys, and me and the rest of the crew, none of us will ever forget him. So big ups to Isaac. Okay, so it's time to wrap this video up. It went a bit longer than I wanted it to go, and I also decided I was going to finish it actually in the truck, in Baby Semi and TT the trailer. Those are the names, the truck and the trailer. But anyway, so I decided I was going to finish up the video here in the truck. I am in Bordentown, New Jersey is where I am right now at a Love's truck stop. Gonna spend the night here. What I did was I positioned myself to grab a load in Newark, New Jersey, and then head back south. I came up here today to Levittown, Pennsylvania. That's where the drop was. And this Love is like 10, 12 miles away from Levittown, Pennsylvania. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap the video up by explaining where the legal name of the business. The DBA is Papa J Trucking. The legal name is Load Logistics, and that's spelled LODDE Logistics. So load is meant to be a play on the word load, L-O-A-D, like load a truck. Have to give credit to my second oldest daughter, Neek, who came up with the name. Well, what I did was I told her that I wanted to use the initials of the grandkids, right? The initials of each one of their first names of my two oldest daughters. So Tay and Neek, our two oldest daughters, their children. Not only I got more grandkids, but those are the grandkids those are the two oldest daughters. Those are their kids, except for one. His name starts with an M, and it didn't fit anywhere in the acronym. So we didn't use him, and he's older. The rest of them are all kids. He's a grown adult, so we didn't use him. So anyway, Load, L-O-D-D-E. All right, L. L is for Liam. Liam is 9 years old. Liam is very quiet. He's reserved, athletic, intelligent, silly, and he's a deep thinker. He loves to figure out, or he loves to figure out why things are the way they are. All right, and in his mind, he thinks he's going to be an NFL quarterback. Now, I've thrown the football back and forth with this joker. I don't know where he got that from, but we're going to let him live. All right. O. O is for Oakland. Oakland is 1 year old. She's very smart, reserved. She's inquisitive, and she is very curious. She's very curious. Um, Unknown what she's gonna be when she grows up, but probably gonna be like a spy or something that requires her to study people's actions or body language, because she's very good at that. D. The first D, rather, is for this joker right here, Devin A. Devin A is 10 years old. He goes by the nickname of DJ because he's a junior. He was named after his father. He's very funny. He has an old soul, and he loves to dance, and he's very outdoorsy. Now, he loves to dance, and he thinks he can dance. I don't know where he got that from either, but he likes to do something that I don't think he's very good at, but we're gonna let him live as well. And right now, I think he wants to be a YouTuber. The second D is for Delaney. Delaney right now is 5 years old. Delaney has a very, very huge personality. She's very loving. She's very sweet. She's very kind and loves meeting new people, which is very scary to me that she likes to meet new people. You know, I remember when a couple years ago, when she was like 3 years old, everybody that she met was her new friend. That's my friend. That's my friend. She could meet somebody, you know, at a restaurant or whatever. She'd be like, that's my friend. I asked her what she wanted to be when she grows up. She said a mermaid. Okay, again, we're gonna let her live as well. All right. And the last one, E. The E in load logistics is for Ezra. Ezra is 3 years old. He's very, very silly, loves to laugh. He's smart, loving, and daring. He is the little daredevil. I asked him what he wanted to be when he grows up, and he said popcorn. Don't know what that is, but he wants to be popcorn when he grows up. So, there you have it. That's where load came from, LODDE, logistics. First initials in each one of their names. I have other grandchildren, but as I start I wanted to start some other divisions. I've been looking at buses, looking at school buses on the eastern shore of Maryland. That's a thing that's needed right now. Actually, it's needed all over Maryland, but eastern shore of Maryland, where I've been looking to do some buses. So if I do some other divisions or branches, then the other grandchildren or some of my great nieces and nephews, I'm gonna, you know, take their initials and make some other acronyms for other divisions or whatever. That's way out in the future. That's not something I want to do right now, but I've been thinking about doing it. So I've been thinking about doing buses. Also been thinking about doing tour buses. I actually went and looked at 2 tour buses a couple of weeks ago. So that might be coming, not soon, but make sure I get this stuff on the road right here first, or get it, you know, where I want it to be before we start branching out doing other things. But that's where we're at. And guess we're gonna end the video right there. And I guess at the end of each video, so at the beginning of each video, I'll probably do like a tip of the day. Before we go into the video, I'll say something stupid like "Let's get loaded," because I gotta use the name now. I put all that work into it. At the end of the video, like right now, I will say something like, "Now you've been loaded, let's run it."